I am here with writer extraordinaire Joshua Williamson. Joshua, first of all, congratulations on the success of Superman Batman 77. How did that whole concept get, where'd it come from?
Well, you know, it's actually kind of funny. I have been talking to DC a lot about different projects. Last year at San Diego Comic-Con, from the 2009 Comic-Con, I was talking with Ian Sattler, and him and I were talking about different stuff. And he asked me, he said, what do you want to do? Do you want to do Batman or do you want to do Superman? And that's something they always ask people because it really says a lot about you, what you want to do. Do you want to do Batman or Superman, right? And I thought about it, and I was like, dude, I want to do both. I want to do Batman and Superman. And this is my opinion on it. If I can't write Batman and Superman, having a conversation but also kicking ass, then what am I doing here? You know, it's like I want to write the Justice League. If I can't write Batman and Superman, I'm definitely not going to be able to write the Justice League. And he was like, wow, no one's ever said that before. Why don't you write some Superman Batman stuff? So he started asking me to send him ideas and like different things. So we started going back and forth on ideas. I sent him pitches, and he asked me to write some inventory issues. So I would do some of that. And what happened was one of the ideas I sent him, everyone liked, but it couldn't really work out with what was going on in the books right now. Well, one of the scripts I sent around to different editors, and they loved it, and they ended up sending it over to Eddie Berganza. Eddie Berganza read it, and an opening popped up for, they were going to do some single issue type stuff like one and dones. And he said, you know, why don't we do your plot that you have, this great plot we're happy about, but do it with Damian and Supergirl. Can you do that? And I was like, oh, of course I can. You know, so I sat down and I broke it up. I mean, it's funny because the original plot is almost nothing like what you finally read, but it really was like that, the kernel of the idea that led to what we have now. I mean, there's so much that's different between the two things, but that's pretty much how it came up. That's the whole thing. And it was a lot of fun because, you know, with Robin, with Damian and Supergirl, what I did was, I just basically put them in a room, let them argue with each other, and I just wrote it down. You know, I sat there and was just like, okay, all right, oh, that's good, Damian, all right, you know, and got all there. And then some of it made it into the book, and then some of it didn't, but that's how it came about, you know, and it ended up working out really well. I was worried people weren't going to like it because I thought they would think Damian was too much, but everyone's come to me and said they love that Damian. It's been great.
It really felt like Damian Wayne, like the little prick that everyone knows, like from the main series and whatnot. And one of the things I really enjoyed about this issue was some of the Superman Batman titles don't really take place in continuity. It's just a one-shot, you know, whenever. This had such great moments, like with the Scarecrow and his little vengeance against Lex Luthor. Totally made sense, and I really wanted to see more of that because it was so great. Now, did you have to go through any different channels when dealing with characters like the Scarecrow or like events like the Blackest?
Yes, it's interesting. I'm a continuity whore. Like, I'm really about it, and I really think there are ways that you can do modern DC comics or modern comics in general and really use continuity as a tool, not a crutch. So with this, I kept keeping that in mind. So everything, I made sure I was on with everything. You know, I would talk to the editors, like, what can I use, what can I not? And when the Scarecrow thing came up, because originally, I'm not gonna say who it was gonna be somebody else. And we started talking about that, and then it was like, we had this idea for what if we did the Scarecrow thing. I don't wanna ruin if anybody hasn't read it yet, but we're gonna do the Scarecrow thing. And tie it into Blackest Night, and we were, you know, working on that, and it ended up coming together really well. However, I had to go through approvals from everybody. So that was really, like, because I'm a fast writer, so, you know, I knock things out quick, I do the job, and I know a lot about the history. It's kind of funny, there are times where I did a story in one of the JLA 80-page giants of the Crimson Avenger, and I wrote this awesome story, and the editors came back like, wow, you must have done research. I was like, no, I just know it all. Like, I just knew that information. I knew who the characters were and everything. And that was the same thing with this. So once the script got turned in, I actually had to go and get notes from the Batman office, the Superman office, you know what I mean? Everybody had to come in, and I was really nervous. It was like a week long of like, we're waiting for them to get back to you, and I was like, oh man, all right, how much work am I have to do? Okay, well, let's do this. I'm really, give me notes, let's move forward. I'm not gonna complain about it, let's go. So when they came back with like 3 small notes, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, this is awesome. So they're really simple. Like, one of the biggest notes was Damian's little like that he does, little teeth thing. I had him say it 3 times in the script, and they're like, why don't you just have it 1 time at the beginning? So I cut him out, but it works out because I don't want things to be too repetitive through the script. There are little things about him that I think Damian, there are certain character aspects to him that are repetitive, like the fact that he's a jerk constantly. And there's little like mannerisms with him that you want to use, and that was one of them. But they were like, just cut down to 1. I was like, how long is that going to take me? That's like 15 minutes. I'm like, there you go. Whoop. Email away. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, and, you know, I don't mind the idea of having to go through hoops and talk to people because I want the book to be the best it can be. And I'm a big fan of Superman Batman. Like, I love that book. And when it first started, when it was Jeff Loeb and McGinnis, it was really tied into continuity. I mean, it was really tied into continuity. And it got away from that, I would almost say, the last 3 years. It hasn't really been. There's like little things occasionally. So with this, I saw an opportunity where I could really tie it in and really do something cool and have Spalding, have Superman be on the walk, have Batman be gone, all that stuff, and do it, and it worked out really well. And I got to, I mean, it's crazy that book ties into World of Krypton, Blackest Night, Superman Grounded, like everything is in there. And even though it was going on at Supergirl at the same time with Sterling stuff, which is amazing, I was able to look at that and use it. So.
No, it's a great one-shot as well for someone picking up the book at the same time. They might be even interested in what these events that they're talking about are and go get more sales.
Well, I'm sure you're the same way. I didn't start reading X-Men at #1. You know, I mean, I read something, I was like, who is this person? I went back and read it. And I think with this, like I said, I use the continuity as a tool, not a crutch. So it's like when I was writing it, I think there are people that are going to read it and they're going to want to know who Reaction was. And they're going to want to go back and read who he is and what that story is. I was talking to somebody the other day and we were going over who Reaction was. And it was like, oh, well, he's the person was like, I don't know who this is. I'm like, oh, he was a major villain during World of Krypton. You must read World of Krypton. And they're like, okay, that's how comics are supposed to be. And so that's how it was when I was a kid. You know, I mean, I had a subscription, I would read stuff, and I'm like, I have no idea who this person is. Who are they? And get a book and get these things. So that's how it's supposed to be. So it worked out really well.
Now, for upcoming projects, do you have anything else with DC because of the success with Superman Batman?
Well, this just came out. So I've been talking about other stuff. I actually do have another project with them right now that I can't talk about. Okay, it's not out for a while, but it's really cool. I'm really excited about it. It's working with editors who I love, and also another writer who is really influential in my career, and I've always wanted to work with him. So being able to work with him has been really great, but I can't talk about it. Okay.
And do you have any other personal projects that you're working on, like maybe original graphic novels or anything?
Yes, I do. I have 2 graphic novels with Kickstart. Kickstart Comics are a new company. They're actually we're a movie company. They made the Wanted movie, the Wolverine, and the X-Men cartoon. They do a lot of animated stuff as well, a lot of children's programming. But they've been out there. They do all these things. They make these movies, and they came to me and asked me to put some graphic novels together. So I did with Jimmy Palmiotti. He worked on those, and the first one is called Mirror Mirror. And it's supposed to come out in November. We were going to have it here at the show, but due to some shipping errors, we're not here, but it will still be in stores in November. All right, and basically what it is I was a big fan of Snow White growing up. So the whole idea is, at the end of the Snow White movie, we never talk about what happened in the Magic Mirror. And the Magic Mirror, you can tell, is a very evil thing, but nobody ever talks about what happens in the Magic Mirror afterward, right? It's just like if you really watch that movie or read, the fairy tales and everything that's out there, you realize that it was manipulating things, because everything that's going on, the witch is acting crazy because of things the mirror is telling it. So at the end in our story, at the end of Snow White actually destroys the magic mirror, takes all the pieces and scatters them across the world. And now it's modern day, and this kid named Owen Grimm, his parents were like Indiana Jones and Laura Croft. What if they got married? All right, and this is their son, but he's a total screw up. He's more like Leonardo DiCaprio on the beach, where all he wants to do is travel the world, have an adventure, and drink snake blood, you know what I mean? It's like all this crazy stuff. But he gets kind of thrown in this adventure where he has to go and stop these people from getting the pieces before they can build it, and cause havoc. So he's out there in the world right now trying to find these pieces before they do. And the problem is the bad guys already have almost all the pieces. It's almost already fully formed, and he's out there trying to get it. And it's awesome. It's got a Darwin Cook cover. Lee Moder, who I don't know if you know who that is, but I mean, Lee Moder did Legion of Superheroes and Stars and Stripes, and I loved him in Legion of Superheroes. When they emailed me like, hey, we're thinking about having Lee Moder do it, I was passed out. It was crazy, because first it was that, and then first it was Lee Moder, and then it was, hey, we're gonna have a Darwin Cook cover. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Is it Christmas and my birthday?
Yeah. When I got the Darwin Cook rough, that was when it became real. I was like, wow, he really roughed this out, and he did, an awesome job on it. It's a 100-page graphic novel, $14.95. You get it in the stores, it's great. And then I have Endangered, which is kind of like Last Starfighter, but with 2 kids instead of 1. Their father's a superhero in space. He gets kidnapped, and the spaceship comes to get the son, because the whole idea is the oldest son should take his place. But it accidentally grabs both sons, and they actually are competing over who's going to be the one to take over in space, where they're trying to rescue their father and rescue like a space princess. It's this whole thing. Dude, the art is amazing. I will send you some stuff. The art is so good. It's nuts. If you can find this stuff online, it's insane. I was showing people all weekend long the art, and it's nutty. But that comes out in January, and it's the same thing, 100 pages, everything. It's just these books are really well done. All of them are. All the books that Kickstarter are doing are amazing. They've put a lot of effort into making the best product possible, and I'm really happy working with them on these things. And yeah, it's really great.
Sounds great.
Yeah, and I have some other stuff coming out next year too. I just can't talk about it yet. I mean,
it's totally understandable. Yeah, you don't want to get in trouble with anybody.
The level will be interesting. It's like starting off, I would say in March, it's going to get nuts for a while, pretty much till the end of the year and onward. I mean, I'm working on books right now for 2012. It's really, in May next year, there's a big book coming out that I'm really happy about. That I can't talk about. But it'll be in the stores everywhere on a certain date, and everyone will be able to get it for a very cheap price. Let's put it like that. So.
And then finally, if people want to find out more updates and more upcoming releases from you, where can they find you on the web?
The best place to find me is on my blog, which actually the blog name is horrible. I need to change it, but right now the blog name is BBC Inner Circle at Blogspot. Horrible name for a blog. I need to change it to Joshua Williamson. But if you actually Google Joshua Williamson comic books, you're gonna find my blog. It's always at the very top. It's very easy because Google and Blogspot have their little deal. So it's right there at the top. Click on it. You can find out everything you know. It has a history of all the books I've done, what's coming up, how to contact me. Everything is on there. So that's the place to do it.
Well, Joshua, thank you so much for your time, and I can't wait to read about the future projects you have.
It
sound good?
Mirror. I think a lot of people will like Mirror. And it's very much. I think if you like Superman and Batman, in Mirror, it's funny. There actually is a male and a female character that don't get along in there as well. Okay. So there's a little bit of banter, not as much, and he's not as much of a jerk. But you have to check it out. I think if people like Superman Batman 77, they'll definitely like Mirror when it comes out in November.
With a sale like that, you got me interested. I got to check it out now.
Yeah, I really hope so.
Joshua Williamson, everybody.